Hey everybody, Roman Polner here from Pillar 6 College Planning. Hope you are having a good day and this finds you well. I encountered an interesting and very different situation that I usually see, and I wanted to share it with you all because I think it's going to be helpful to a lot of you watching this. So usually families come to us because they're looking for ways to save on the cost of college. They're looking for ways they can get money and learn and master the financial aid system so that they can reduce their out-of-pocket costs in sending their kids to school. And today, I got an email from a family that on paper would qualify for financial aid, but they're really worried about applying for financial aid. In fact, they're thinking about not applying at all because they think it's going to hurt their daughter's chances of getting into college. Which, no judgment on this family, but just made me feel so sad. And I think it's just crazy that, families who are in need, for whom this financial aid system was put in place to send their kids to school, are worried that getting the money that they need and out of the system that it was designed for, that they're going to hurt their daughter's chances of getting into college. And I just think it's crazy. It's crazy that we have this system in place that's completely out of whack. Sorry, these are technical terms, of course, but kids are supposed to be able to get a good education, in any progressive country. And the fact that their parents are putting so much stress and so much pressure on themselves of like paying more than they can afford just to get their kids into school, I think is wrong. And I think our financial aid system is broken. I've talked a lot about this, but this just highlights how both sides of this equation, the financial aid side and the college side, they're just not working as they should. Because if a family is worried about applying for financial aid because they think it's going to hurt their kids' chances of getting into an already super competitive, college process, it's just wrong. And I'll share with you what I shared with them, and that is, if you're able to get financial assistance and you qualify, go get it. Unless you just have an abundance of financial resources, well, I guess in which case you wouldn't qualify for financial aid. But maybe you have some other options. Families supporting, your kids going to college. I mean, that's a choice that you can make. But for most families in this country, they're facing the opposite challenge. They're trying to get their kids into a good school, and they'd love to qualify for some financial assistance, but they're having a hard time getting the money because the system is so out of date. The financial aid system doesn't consider your cost of living, the amount of mortgage that you might have or rent that you might pay. They don't look at your expenses. They don't look at your obligations. They're just looking at your income and your assets. And because the cost of colleges has gone up so much faster than the amount of our incomes, then there's this widening gap, between the amount that colleges cost and how much people can comfortably pay without really putting a lot of undue stress on their finances or taking a ton of debt, which is how 50% of this country affords college. And that's wrong. It should not be happening. So look, if you're in a situation where you need money to help you pay for college, by all means, apply for the financial aid. And you start by filling out the FAFSA. It's absolutely free. It's going to ask you to put information about your assets and your income, and it's going to calculate whether or not your family is eligible for financial assistance. Now, the second thing you should do is look for colleges that have merit aid. In other words, this is money that colleges have to give out to students that they want to attract. And oftentimes it's not just for athletics or just for academics. There are just a lot of different factors that colleges are looking for to build a perfectly balanced student body. And it could very well be kids from some part of the country, or kids that were involved in certain extracurricular activities or volunteering. And there's no shortage of money if you know where to look. By the way, just as a side note, we have a series of training videos if you're a family that's looking for money to pay for college at 4moneysteps.com. It's 4moneysteps.com, and there's a series of videos that goes over 4 key areas where families can find money in addition to the traditional financial aid that I just talked about. So I was just honestly taken back when I was reading that email and having that conversation with this family, because I just felt so sad that they were absolutely, willing and able, a good parental instinct to help, their kids, but they were just willing to take on so much burden financially, even though they didn't have to, but they felt that doing this, right, taking this undue burden, is going to give their daughter a more competitive edge, if you will, against more affluent families. And I think that's just really, really sad, because no family should put themselves in financial harm's way to give their kids a good education. So if you've got a college-bound student, submit the financial aid forms. There has been no evidence, at least not that I know of, that if you're eligible for financial aid, that it would somehow disqualify your student or hurt your student's chances of getting into good schools. So pick a good set of schools that are a good fit for your student and that are a good fit for you financially, and apply for every single form of financial aid that you can get your hands on to get your kids into a good school, see them graduate without a mountain of debt and without you having to take on debt as well. And again, as I've mentioned, go to 4moneysteps.com. It's informative. It's absolutely free. It's there for your use. And if this is all helpful to you, let me know. Hit like. Let me know if there's anything in particular that you want to learn about in the comments below, and I'll make one of these daily videos in answering your question. So until then, be well, plan well, and good luck with everything. Thanks for watching.